But this was, like I said, a $30 pair sneaker, a $30 sneaker, 35, and it's like, you wanted to preserve it, you wanted to make it look dope. But like I said, I mean, this was traditionally, initially, a style sneaker. You wanted to have them on your feet. It's like a wheel hat, a car has a nice pair of rims on it. You wanted your feet to look really flavored, and this just was like a block of sneaker on your foot compared to other sneakers, and it was just a whole nother step up, in my opinion, back in the days. So, you know, we started trying to figure out how to clean our sneakers. The toothbrush was a big aspect because you could scrub it, but you would also abrase the thread. The shell was always pretty easy to clean. But now the tongue, this is a different tongue. The tongue back in the days was a piece of flat foam. And that flat foam, you know, you can clean it, and you had to, what happened is your laces, if your laces took punishment, the lace would just put a stamp of dirt right onto the tongue from the lace, the way the laces looped. So you would have to, when you take all your laces out, because we never really clean our sneakers with our laces on them. What you did is you take the whole lace out, and then you just work on the sneaker. You know what I'm saying? Some people will work on the sneaker so you can grab it better. You can grab it when it's laced. When it's not laced, you got to be up in there. Work on the sneaker, then take the laces, and then just work around the lace hole section and so forth. All right. So to sum it up, basically the shell top required a little bit more work. And we could talk about a couple ways real quick of doing it. But what I want to do before that is take this cleanser and give it a shot with it. Now, if I would work on a sneaker back in the days, like I said, I'd use a toothbrush, but what I want to do now is use the cloth. I'm going to use a white, it's a sock that he has. I'm going to use the same sock. I would recommend a white sock all the time on using to clean, because if you use a colored rag, you might get the threads to blend right into whatever you have there. So I'm just going to really quickly, there's a whole nother story to talk about the sock. This is actually a throwback of an old pom-pom. Alright, so now me, I would just, you know, I wasn't really that patient with my sneakers, I'll be honest with you. Like to this day, I'm just like impatient. But, you know, you had people like Dante, my partner, my man, treat this like with a microscope, he'll magnify it. He'll get every little area and take his time. Me, I was just definitely hyper. And but like I said, right now, already in the front, it's wet, so it darkens. That's just how it happens. And I want to talk about something cool that I learned a couple years later after that. But right now on the leather, it's taking very well. It's taking very well on the leather. In the back, I had this coloration. I had like a yellow on this that I remember.
Yeah, man.
And these are different stripes too. The whole sneaker, this model is just a repop model. The tongue is different. The way it's built is different. The rubber bottom is very similar, but it's just a repop model. So yeah, go across it on the sides of the suede of the stripes. Another section where we'll get a lot of dirt on the side of the stripe, right in there, because you see the raw suede there. Yeah. You see the raw suede in there. So far, this looks like it's taken well. Suede being wet. All right, this is not even a good job. I'm just really going across it. Now, me personally, what I would do is take a white towel, dry, and buff it with a white towel. Now, traditionally, this is a dope cleanser. This is like some new shit. Back in the days, we tried Woolite. We went through our cleansers. My brothers tried bleach, Woolite. I mean, and I'm just telling you a couple. Like, whatever it was, if it was Tide, if it was Fab, whatever the cleanser was, we tried it. You know, you have some washing detergent that's blue and green, so you know that you tried everything. Yeah. So far, right now, this back in the days would have been a big deal, because obviously you can see how that's really spanked. It's really spanked right there. See what I'm saying? That's really spanked. Right now, I would take off the lenses. Bam, bam, bam. I'll take the lenses, hot water, scrub the laces. Not the lenses. I would take the laces, scrub them with hot water and just a mild soap, like an ivory. But I would also use my fingernails, and what I would do is I would glide through the, after I finish,
right, exactly.
I glide through the lace and scrape the dirt as they were wet, wash them again, and keep on, because every like inch, as you can see here, you have this little hard black spot of dirt and whatever was in the air. And the lace thing is a whole nother ball game. Most of the time, you might have to buy a new lace. But if you didn't buff your sneaker hard enough, you could tell your lace was newer than your sneaker. So you had it. Amen. I know that. Tell your lace. I know that. That shit looks so good. Job you did on your sneaker. Yeah. Trust me. Yeah. Right. You ever do that? You're like, damn. This is way white.
It's only your laces, bro.
Oh my. These ones right here. Where did these come from? The program. These are busted up. I would like to dilute that. Some of this in hot water and let them soak for like an hour and then scrub them and see what happens. Maybe we might do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that actually.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah, because there's a separate way I clean laces and stuff though.
So if you have, we want to add anything real quick before I go on, because I'm gonna
no,
drop
man, I'm good, man. I mean, like you pretty much
also.
cleaned the shoe. Pretty damn clean, I'd say, man. Let's get real close up in that.
Yeah, you also got the other sneaker here, and you can see the back. What I wanted to show, and the light isn't that great, but the back right here, there's dirt here. There's dirt all over here. You can't, and here, you see these little areas.
Yeah, cleans it up too.
It actually had it. You had that situation. Now, what ended up happening was Griffin, which is a white shoe polish, came out. No, it hadn't been out. Now, what Griffin might have been used for? Damn. Before I saw Griffin as
that's for business shoes. Like
a white shoe paint. Oh yeah, something of a white shoe.
Like the old
polisher.
right. Disco shoes that they use.
There you go, Capizios, stuff like that. So Griffin was already out. We're talking 1980, 81.
I remember
that Griffin had been out for a while and it's still out. But what was interesting about Griffin is they had this applicator. It's like this bottle with this little slanted brush on the front. It's almost like a marker. And you could push, you had to push the tip down, bend it, and then the white ink or paint came out on your sneaker. Now, it was not an opaque paint, to my knowledge. But it was a transparent type of white paint that you put on, and then you had to figure out a way to either buff it or let it dry or just cover that little thing I told you about right there. Now, there's my right shoe. Now, I think I've broken these before. I did some footwork in these. And these are a casual sneaker. I would not break in a white on white now. But when the moment presents itself, you ain't going to ask what you got on. And trust me, to this day, I've ruined some of my favorite pairs of sneakers because the moment said, yo, you got to break right now. So, but I think for sure, this mark right now is from me breaking. And it may have been a lapse in my footwork technique. Back in the days, it's important to note that I noted many times before is that my footwork improved because I didn't want to scratch my sneakers. So which means I became more like a hovercraft above the ground to try to miss those areas where I would scrape. And that improved my footwork a lot. That's why people started recognizing my footwork. That's why people started saying you look like you're not touching the ground. Because I really didn't want to ruin my sneakers. I wanted to look fresh. So that's a survival mechanism right there, which helped across the board. And footwork to me has always been the dopest part of the dance, in my opinion. And especially for me, I kind of favored it, and it worked to my advantage because I wasn't that athletically capable than some other dancers, flexibility-wise, etc. Now, the last thing I want to talk about real quick, if I haven't forgot, there's a whole bunch of things. We're not even talking about designing a sneaker. When the white on white first came out, I never forget, it was not out early. The white on white was a new thing. I remember I went to Juman's in the Bronx, and around my block nobody had it. In Uptown Manhattan, 98th Street, Amsterdam, I went to Juman's, and I was going to Juman's to buy sneakers in the Bronx on Simpson Avenue on the 2 train, because that's where you went to buy sneakers, and you can get a deal. You can give them 30 straight, you can give them 20 straight, whatever you buy, and they weren't going to tax you. It was Jewish guys, Jewish people owned the store. They called it Juman's. And it was a small little shop, and they had everything that people in the hood wore. If it was Timberland shoes back in the days, people don't know about that. Playboys, British Walkers, Lee jeans, Adidas nylon suits, regular Adidas suits, Campus, Azad, Le Tigre shirts, members only jackets, the leather bombers with the fur, the leather pilot bombers, the shearlings, the sheepskins, 3/4 and 2/4 and 4/4 sheepskins, 3/4, 4/4 bombers, whatever it may be, Juman's had it. And that's where everybody went. But Juman's was dangerous. And there was a chance that if you went up there with a big bag coming out, they were waiting for you to stick you up. And they would just rob you of your stuff. So you always went up there either strapped with an iron, with a gun, or a knife, or with fellas to protect yourself. I got approached, lucky with my man Nicky and the Jew-Mans, and my man Nicky was from Elder Avenue, and he was savvy in the street, and we got away with it, but we were being stalked, and they were going to get us. I only had like a pair of sneakers and maybe a jacket or something in my bag. But this is real talk, 1981, 82, in the Bronx, close to the South Bronx. So the last thing that I was going to tell you about is that